Hey guys, welcome back to today's video, and welcome to the cockpit of the 6th generation Goldwing Tour DCT. It's been a minute since I've got a Goldwing video out. Had viewers of the channel asking, Mile High, what's up with the Goldwing? So I'm very excited to be back in the cockpit and sharing with you guys the Goldwing experience. And make sure I have my radio turned down, adjust my windshield. So I think the title of today's video is going to be the 2025 50th anniversary Goldwing. Would I buy new today? Would I trade in my Goldwing to get a 50th anniversary Goldwing? So let's think about that. So right now, they're both 6th generation. So the 6th generation Goldwing started in 2018. And with that, you get the 1,833 cubic centimeter opposed 6-cylinder engine. You get the dual clutch transmission, which is what I'm riding right now. And if you're new to the channel, go back and check out some of my older videos. Videos around altitude performance, DCT. I think I may have done one DCT versus manual. The lights, most of these things are the same in 2025. I've got cruise control, which I can just set that with a flick of my thumb. So right there's cruise control. So it's pretty much driving itself at this point. And I think we're about to test the passing capability. So I'm going to switch to sport mode here. So the touring, sport mode, rain modes, I think it might be an econ mode. Those modes are the same. The DCT transmission, it's a 7-speed. This is a 7-speed transmission. That's the same. Give me 1 second here, guys. I think we want to be staring at the back of this truck for the whole ride anyway. Let me get a good spot where I have sight distance. That's nice of him. Throw a wave out. I'm going to switch back to tour mode because that's my preferable mode. So, and just another comment, that was very kind of that truck driver to move to the side there so I could come around. There's a passing lane here now, but this route that I'm on, it's very popular for motorcycle riders, so we'll probably see a lot of bikes. I saw some bikes earlier today. So we're in cruise control. And just to take a look at some of the controls on the Goldwing for folks that may not be familiar with the Goldwing. So over here on your left-hand side, so right now, as you can see on the screen, I'm in audio mode, which is on the radio right now. I can hit the home screen. That goes to the home screen for this generation. I think this may have changed. I think the boot up sequence changed. If you guys look at my Night Rider video, that really kind of demonstrates the boot up sequence for the bike. You get the Goldwing splash screen. And I think, of course, on the 50th anniversary of the 2025, that's different. So one thing I do know that's notable, so this navigation system that's on the pre-2025, the 6th generation, so 2028, and 2025 is 6th generation also, it's just they changed some of the electronics in that bike. So, but this onboard map system, I think that has been removed on the 50th anniversary. They rely solely on like Apple CarPlay or Google Play or Google Maps, whatever that's called. I have an iPhone, so I know it's Apple CarPlay. And this is a real challenge for the electronics of this bike. And I don't know if they could probably just do a flash, do an update. There's a board in the road. But so like to get mine to work, and I have a video on this, but it's pretty much me just humping the football. You got to have, you know, your helmet's got to be hooked up with Bluetooth before you plug in your phone. Like, it's the pain in the butt. Like, you know, this glove compartment's right below my chin here. That's where, you know, your phone goes, and you plug it into a cable. And I'm not sure if this supports USB 3. I know it supported Thunderbolt. I'll have to look and see, because I've gotten so used to just leave my phone in my pocket. It's in my pocket right now because I don't use that. You know, the Apple CarPlay doesn't work, so I don't really, I mean, it will work, but it's so hard to get it to work. And I have the onboard maps. So, and just for some folks, in case you don't understand that, these maps that are on board the Goldwing is like the old school maps where they have to be manually updated. So map files need to be manually updated. When you're using Apple Maps, like on your iPhone, or if you're using Google Maps, like on your Android, then that's a cloud-based service, right? So those maps are updated all the time on the server, like in the cloud, and you're pulling from that. And then I think there are options. You can download maps of areas, you know, that way if you're going to drive out of service, that kind of thing. There was a skunk on the side of the road. But so this feature is deleted. My old 2013 F-150 used to have the same kind of deal. You had to put a chip, you know, like an SD chip in there and update the maps. My F-350 I got for 2022, it's got onboard maps. But yeah, I was speaking to somebody the other day about that, and we were out four-wheeling, and they were saying, oh, well, that doesn't work. And well, yeah, it does, because this is a database map. This is not a cloud or database cloud database map. So that's what they removed, for sure. And depending on, I mean, most of the time I'm pretty old school, you know, like I look ahead, kind of figure out my route, you know what I mean, or I usually know where I'm riding, that kind of thing. So it's not that big a deal to me that they removed that map system, but it's not like a gating item for, you know, me buying a 50th anniversary. But it's definitely them fixing, which apparently they did. Now you can connect your iPhone. I'll bring my windshield up a little more so maybe you don't get so much wind. So apparently they fixed it where you can like wirelessly connect. Like, I don't know if you can see that screen, but right now my phone is wirelessly connected to the system, Bluetooth connected to the bike. So, and that gives you a different set. Like, you can run it what I call iPod mode, so you can run you know, music and those kind of things. But it's not like Apple CarPlay. You know, when you connect and you launch Apple CarPlay, which is all really on the phone, on your iPhone, and all you're doing is hooking a screen to it, basically. But, you know, there's got to be protocols and wiring, so that'll work, you know what I mean? The software has to support the launch of Apple CarPlay and, you know, permissions of the device to the system. Like, there's other things they got to do that doesn't work very well at all, you know. And, you know, as far as I know, the 6th generation, it didn't work. I know this is a 2021. It doesn't work right now. In my mind, it doesn't work correctly. That's supposed to be a lot smoother. So it's supposed to be more plug and play, like maybe you'd see on your car. But you give up the onboard maps. So, as you can see, we're heading on south, Colorado 83, from my onboard map system. So, the suspension, you know, I can adjust on the fly. Well, I take that back. So, the suspension system is the same. The motor is the same. The DCT is the same. They changed like the fuel injection mapping. So like I'm in I guess automatic mode right now. I'm in drive. So this thing does it all. You know, it's all, you know, wrist input. They also, I have to go back and look. They may have gotten there might be options for the eyesight. You know, that's what Subaru calls it. Like, my wife's car has eyesight on it. So, like, I could set the speed for that car in front of me, right? But right now, I have, you know, I'm at just cruise control, right? So, I'm set to about probably 64. Coming into a 45. Might be some construction coming up here. So we'll see if traffic slows down through here. So that might also be an option. I know on the newer BMW K1600, I'm pretty certain that one does have that. But to be honest with you guys, just like I did that review on the K1600 versus the Goldwing, and it was a 2021 versus, I think that was a 2012, which was the model I used to own. That's why I used that bike in that video. The core bike is the same. You know, some people were saying, oh, we're going to compare a 21 versus a 12, but unless you're just you know, love the electronics, and that's true. Like, you know, the electronics change like year to year almost. Like, they make updates and things. You know, it could be a bigger screen or whatever. That means less to me and more about the performance of the core motorcycle. And that's where I feel like even the K bike, and I'd have to look and see like in the last 5 years or so if they made a change on that as far as like the core bike. But when I see one, it looks like the same motorcycle I used to ride. It might have you know, where it can match the car in front of you, or you know, the advanced cruise control and things like that. But that's not a thing for me. I mean, that's not worth swapping out a bike. And more importantly, it's not worth buying necessarily a new bike. So for instance, that 2025, if you buy what this bike has on it, it's going to be $32,000, right? This bike is loaded for 2021. It's the DCT Tour. It's got the larger top case. It's got pretty decent side luggage. It's definitely the same engine, the 1833cc engine. The DCT is the same. So in my opinion, the riding experience is not altered enough to justify going and getting that bike, you know. And one, these bikes last so long. I mean, I'd have to look and see. My bike has probably got, it might have 7,000 miles on it, maybe 8,000. But, well, there's Pikes Peak. But these bikes, you know, you can run these bikes, I don't know, 200, 300,000 miles. Just pick the video you want to watch on that. My bike's still brand new. And it's because I have multiple motorcycles and I ride different things. And it's funny, like, you know, the Goldwing has stayed in my stable. Other bikes have come and gone. And every bit of this bike is as good. The ride performance is as good as the 2025. They have, you know, the anniversary badging, and you know, for some people that's very important. You know, for, you know, Goldwing's been around since 1975, I believe. Yeah, so it's 50 years. So 1975, that was Gen 1. There's 6 generations of this motorcycle. I think the first generation had a 4-cylinder. I can't remember if it was Gen 2 that became opposing 4-cylinder, or if that came later with the 6-cylinder bike. But that, you know, is like what makes it very smooth. You know, like I have a friend of mine's a neighbor, and he's like, man, those are smooth bikes. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, 100%. Especially after riding the KLR. Like, and I'm hoping that my audio is working on this video, because I have shot this, like, this is like the 3rd try. And that one, I was having issues because I was wanting to shift. I was wanting to clutch. Yeah, I don't need to. There's not a clutch on here. And I have test ridden the manual Goldwing, and it's a very smooth clutch. You know, it's a big old, the shifter on it's a hefty, heavy duty, you know, Goldwing. And but it's smooth. It's very smooth, easy, you know, easy shifting. And this is my first DCT, and it's fantastic. Like right now, like it's, like I said, I can put this thing back in cruise control, and it's, you know, and I mean, you can put a manual in cruise control as well, but I mean, this bike just takes care of business, you know, with a 7-speed transmission. And it's such a wonderful ride. The 6th generation, I think, is when the DCT came in. So in 2018 and beyond. So just keep that in mind. So if you're deciding to buy a Goldwing, and I'm saying, I would suggest, unless you want that badging, get yourself a 2018 through 2024. I mean, I've seen them. You can buy these bikes for $18,000. I mean, it depends on how motivated the seller is. You know, I mean, who knows what price you could get, especially if you're not riding it and it's just sitting in the garage. This is a fantastic touring machine. This is what they call the pinnacle. And then if you have, you know, your spouse rides with you, or, you know, I used to call it a pillion, which I think that's really just the name of that seat. But if you have a pillion, you know, it's so roomy back there. You know, I have, you know, just with these buttons here, hopefully you guys can see it, so I can turn on my heated grips right there. So if you can see this guy here, and then, so in case everyone wonders what this Death Star phone system is here, you know, this is this like DTMF calling, you know, like if I have a plug into a phone line. I think maybe the older Goldwing, yes, but this one doesn't come with landline support. But you know, you just kind of toggle through right there for the heated grips. I don't know if you can see it, that was over there. And then this guy here, this button turns on my heated seats. Let me manage this corner here. I'm trying not to catch traffic. So I can already feel my butt heating up. And it's a cool morning. It ain't that cool though. So I'm gonna go back here. So this is me calling the Death Star. You have an audio button down here. This is for the driving lights. So this lower button right here, this is for like and this has phenomenal. Look at the Night Rider video. It lights up the road. Fantastic lighting on this bike. So anyway, this turns that off and on, and then you can see the icon over there that I call them riding lights, and people call them floodlights. The riding lights are on. Let's see what else. So this select button here, this changes what I see over here. So right now I can see it's 68 degrees outside. That's the outside air. Make sure someone's not trying to eat my tail end off. And then you got your trips over there, and you can reset that with this button. And then I got range, so I got 108 miles left of fuel. That was one thing I kind of thought they would add, is maybe put some more fuel in the 2025. I've not read that. I don't think they have. So, but I've never run this thing till like a fuel light came on. I'm pretty certain you can get, I think I put at least 250 miles. I know I've done that, 250 miles. So it might do 270, 275. But I mean, you know, for me, after riding 4 hours, 5 hours, and it depends on how you ride it too. Like if you're running around sport mode, it's going to consume more fuel. But like in touring mode, or if you put it in econ mode, like if you're doing like if you're going across Wyoming, then you would definitely, I'm going to turn around right up here, guys. You probably get way high, you know. And then I can actually tell you. Let's come to a stop before I finagle with that. So this info right here. So see, it says I'm averaging 46.4 miles per gallon. And I'm gonna pop a UE right up here so you guys can see the smooth turn radius capability. So, and like I say, that would all be the same with a 2025. I mean, I absolutely love this bike. And then also in the 6th gen, so I do recommend 2018 and after, get a 6th gen Goldwing, because that cantilever system down there, I don't know if you can see the front end. I've mentioned this in other videos. That is amazing. Like when I first got this bike and I was riding it through the mountains, you know, and they tore up the asphalt and you're riding on like, you know, partial, it's like the ribs, you know, underneath the asphalt. Man, this thing absolutely just mutes it, man. I mean, it mutes the noise in the road. Such a smooth ride. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna turn around. I guess I'll turn around down there. I don't want to be on this hill doing it because there's traffic coming. Yeah, I see an option up there. Pop a UE. It's a beautiful morning this morning. Nice cool weather. It's my favorite time to ride. Like I said in the other videos, we're getting close to fall, so I'll be getting some, which I guess we're pretty much moving in there now. I could probably get in the mountains and see some fall colors right now. It depends on where we're at in altitude. Okay, so we're going to turn around right here. Make sure there's no other traffic coming. Look at this baby go. Effortless. I probably could have made that a little tighter, but I'll work on that. So what I was saying there is, you know, there's different settings on the suspension. So you can see right down here, this is like softer preload. This is softer preload. That guy, you got to be at a stop, and I'll show you why. Because if you go into the section of the command center here, control center, go to vehicle settings, you get that. Because there's so many settings in there, and it basically says this function disabled while vehicle's in motion. There's so many settings in there, they just don't want you farting around with all that, you know, while you're going down the road. But if I catch this light up here, which I probably will, then I'll show you guys how to set that. But it's got, you know, electronic preload for single rider, two rider, single rider with luggage, two riders, then two riders with luggage. So it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And I used to ride it single rider with luggage, because like I said in other videos, it's a whole lot of mile high. And but I don't know, I just kind of got like, it feels stiffer, you know. And then two, so if I hit back, I'll go back to this screen. And I'm doing all that with the left hand side. This rotary dial here, I've had people ask about this. That's disabled. I mean, it might do, nope, yeah, so actually looks like it's trying to, oh yeah, it becomes a volume knob. I didn't know that. I thought it was just disabled while you're going down the road. I just use the volume over here on the left hand side. So this truck's going to do me a favor, and that light's going to change right when I get here. Look at that. So I'll have to show you another time. I guess I could have stopped there since he was going straight, but those guys are kind of slow. But right, so that setting is in there. And then the ride modes, there's a trigger right here. And then you can just, you know, I don't know if you guys can see right there. It says Sport, Econ, Rain, you know. And that basically just makes it less aggressive. Like I said, Tour is the right amount of torque and power for me. Sport mode, and I've got a video on sport mode, it's pretty aggressive. Like I got an aftermarket, and I apologize. I know the community's asked about where I got that back seat, you know, on this bike. I can't remember. I don't know where I got it. I'll dig around so I can find a receipt or something, but I got that like right when I bought the bike, and I was doing a lot of different things with YouTube at the time, and so anyway, I'm not sure. I'll see if I can get a brand off of that, or maybe somebody recognizes it. You guys tell us in the comments. But yeah, in sport mode, you're glad you got that. and I've ridden it without it, and like, you know, the seat is you have enough back support, like you ain't gonna slide out of your seat. But I just like it even more, because that thing, the backrest I have on here now is like towards the middle of my back. So, so I can like kind of lean back like this, you know. I can just stretch. It ain't just something kind of like do yoga on, you know, like stretch your back out. Hopefully I didn't just wind blast the microphone when I did that. And this thing corners so well. So, well, now I'm already going down the road, but I can show you manual mode as well. I don't know if I got anybody. Yep, I do. Yeah, people ride on this road kind of brisk. So since I'm not doing 100, I'm gonna have somebody behind me like all the time, which is all right if you want to go 100, but I don't necessarily want to go 100. And then there's a car behind them, and so on and so forth. But I'm in 7th right now, and you can see it's like 2,500 RPMs. So if I hit this button, so now I'm in manual. So I'm in 7th in manual, and then you use these. There's a trigger on the left-hand side over here, if you guys can see that, and then there's this thumb that goes down, so I can shift down to 6 right there. So if you guys saw the RPMs kicked up, and it's, I probably should do, maybe I will. I'll do a video on like, so I just hit the back into 7th with my finger. That's top gear. But, you know, like takeoff, I don't know that if I can take off better than what Tour does for me. Because it's all about throttle input. I'm going to put that back on drive. So you see I just popped that button and now I'm in drive. So there we are, I'm going 70. That is not fast enough for this person. But, you know, each their own, as long as they don't run me over. Oh, and then they're slamming on the brakes. See, I got some riders out today. It's funny, you wouldn't think a Subaru driver would be that aggressive. So anyway, so you got manual mode and ECT. And then over here, you got the source. This does have walking mode, which is like if you're in your garage and you know you just move it around. If you guys want to actually see that in action, I can show you. But basically, you put it in drive, and then you hold down this button over here, and it goes into walking mode. And then you use the plus and minus over here, like you did with the manual shifting, to like move forward and back. So, because this is a big bike, and that's honestly, I mean, depends on, you know, what you have to spend and what your physical abilities are, but I can move this bike around myself. I still would rather have that. That is so convenient. So anyway, I don't think there's anything else I need to show. Let me know in the comments if you guys like to see any other, you know, content or certain features about, you know, the 6th generation Goldwing. Hope you guys have been enjoying the videos on the channel. Like I said, I would not trade in my bike for a 2025. I've already got a 6th generation. If I had an older generation, I still wouldn't, because I would get like a 2021 for maybe half the money that's got all the features. And then my bike's all blacked out, which is, you know, I ordered that special when I bought it. So me personally, I would just buy another 6th generation Goldwing. But like I say, you know, if you like the colors, I think they may have made some special colors for the 50th anniversary, and they've got the anniversary badging and those kind of things. And you got $32,000 that you can spend, and it's not a big deal, then by all means, you know. But, you know, I'm a bike performance guy. You know, that's a lot what this channel's about. And I get everything I need out of my Goldwing. My 2021. So, hope you guys are enjoying the videos, and we'll see you in the next one. See you guys.